Oh, very good evening, all of you. Welcome to our first live session after NEET MDS 2022 exam. So I hope you guys are all doing great. And I'm sure after 12:01 p.m. today, you're all definitely feeling relieved, at least majority of you. And also we have been getting feedback regarding the question paper in the form of comments and mails. And it's really wonderful to hear that you've done extremely good and the paper was not so tough. Right. So first of all, please confirm the streaming quality. I mean, am I audible? Please confirm the streaming quality. So let's go ahead with our discussion as usual. Yeah, right. So before we go ahead, before we take input from your side regarding how the question paper works, this is an important announcement from our academy. So PTPD Academy, we are launching a new batch towards NEET MDS 2023. We already have two batches going on, regular batch and Mission Pearl batch, and we'll be launching summer batch in the month of May very soon. And you can find all the details on our website, ptpdacademy.com, right? So that's one important announcement which I would like to make. And also, you can find relevant details within 24 hours in our website or in the description part of this video. So now, let me know how the question paper works. As I said, from the morning, we have been getting several inputs. And I'm glad to hear that there were several questions in the exam paper from our e-classes and also from our test series. And that is something which any person who is coaching would love to hear. But having said that, how was the exam in your opinion, in your perspective? And what are the different kinds of questions you faced? How many image-based questions did you face? How many context-based questions? And also, how was the complexity of the question paper? Were you able to solve or at least attend all the questions? And on an average, how many questions did you attempt? So these are the questions which I'll be asking you again. We'll open up our whiteboard, take the help of Neutrino, and then let's see how the question paper. So we'll try to have an overview. And from tomorrow onwards, we're coming up with paper discussion video. In fact, we'll be doing it in a very new format this year. For the past 4 to 5 years, we have been doing paper discussion videos, but this time we're coming up with a new way of discussing NEET MDS 2022 paper. And also, we hope that this innovative way would efficiently and effectively enable us to discuss the entire question paper to the best of our ability, right? So let's start with our whiteboard. I see some yes, and yes. So what are you saying yes to? I mean, I'm the person who asked you the question, right? Okay, so here we go. So we'll use this entire whiteboard as effectively as possible. The NEET MDS 2022 paper analysis. So you guys tell me, we'll post the questions here. So you tell me how it is going. So how was the overall question paper? I mean, if I were to give you options like difficult, medium range, I'll just give you 3 options for sake of simplicity. Easy. So which one would you pick? So let me use a different color here. Yeah. So how is the question paper overall? In your experience, you did not carry on others' opinion. So since you have attended the question exam today, since you faced all 240 questions. So how was the question paper? Is it difficult? Is it medium, or is it easy? Or is it between difficult or medium or easy, or very easy? I mean, you guys let me know. Yeah. Hi, a very good evening, all of you. Yes. Yagna says medical part was tricky, case-based. Okay, we'll get back to that case-based and image-based questions also. Rukrisha, Divyansh, Pallavi, Navya, Vasundhara, Yagna, Smriti. Okay, but medium to easy. Yeah. So most of you are saying it is medium, and some of you are saying it is medium to easy. But majority of you seem to be selecting this medium range, because last year, it was clear cut that most of you were saying that the question paper was very challenging, lots of image based, context based questions. So this time you say it is in the medium range, medium to difficult. Okay. Very easy. Some of you are saying very easy. That's good. So keep giving your input, right? Based on that, I will try to modify or edit this whiteboard. Now, let me get back to the next question. So another question which I wanted to pose is, was the time sufficient to answer or at least to attend all the questions? I'm consciously not using the past tense while I'm writing, because you're still in the present, right? In that experience of giving that question paper. So is the time, because this is one of the challenges which last year majority of the students faced, right? So is the time sufficient to attend all 240 questions? Because one of you were telling me like you couldn't go through all the questions because of time constraints. It varies from person to person. So what do you say? Majority of you will go by that answer. So is it okay? Like, were the questions short? Because this will answer the related question, like were the questions lengthy or were the questions relatively short? So how was it? Pragati says time consuming. Pallavi says sufficient time. Arfi says sufficient time. Okay. By the way, all your comments are going to be staying here. Even if we miss something, those who are attending this live session later on at least can go through your comments. So first question, majority of you saying our paper is relatively easy. Second question, sufficient time, time consuming, sufficient time. Dental part was sufficient. Part A was lengthy. Yeah, that's what I was hearing. Time is sufficient. Most of the questions are repeated questions. So, yeah, thank you, Sangeeta. That's my next question. Medical part as usual. Clinical questions are not that easy, but time taking. For me, it is, I think my speed is slow, not sufficient. Enough time. So I'm getting mixed opinions or mixed comments here. Let me just put that here. So time sufficient says majority of you. Some of you are saying like for dental questions, that is part B, time is sufficient. Whereas medical part, you're saying it is time taking or time consuming. Okay, did I put that right? So if you need me to modify or edit this, you're more than welcome to share your opinion. Yeah. Oral path, you have several questions. More questions were from PhD. Okay, we'll get back to that. Anyway, now let's get to our next question. Keep answering. Even if it is first question, keep answering. We can edit our whiteboard a bit later. Were there any repeats? That's my next question. So were there any repeat MCQs or repeat questions? Usually, every exam, we have been hearing that the number of repeated questions are declining. Last year also they said, students said like there were very minimal number of repeated questions. How is the scenario this year? So were there any repeat MCQ questions from previous entrants? Yeah, exploring neuron. Yeah, recalling questions and paper discussion videos will initiate from tomorrow. Don't worry about that. As I said, we're coming up with a new format and we'll make sure that you're all getting the questions, key explanations from our side, right? So we'll get back to that in form of next video. Yeah, so questions are not direct, time consuming. So let me just put that here. Okay. So what about this? Were there any repeated questions? Okay, yes, there are many. Image-based questions. Okay, let me just put that here. So repeated questions, you have image-based questions, also one-liner direct questions. Fine. Now, what about the percentage of image-based questions and case-based questions? So can anyone answer this? How many image-based questions were there on an average? So how many image-based questions and case-based questions? Approximately. Because last year, you're saying like almost for every question, there was an associated image. So how is the scenario this year? Yeah, there were many image-based questions. Okay, can anyone give an approximate number? Were there 10? Because one of the students was saying like there were 8 to 10 image-based questions. So how many approximately? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or even more? Because there are entrances, there were NEET MDS entrances where there were around 30 to 40 image-based questions as so 20, 15 to 20, or 30 to 40% of the question. 36. Nikhil Singh says 36. Sujay says 15. Oh, the number is widely varied. It's the same question paper for everyone, right? 20 to 30, 20 image based approximately, around 40 to 45. So I think after going through your comments, I think 30 would be a safe number. Around 30 to 40. Let's go to the upper level rather than going to the lower level. So around 30 to 40 image-based questions. Okay, fine. So how many case-based questions? Approximately. Was the entire question paper designed in case-based format, or were there only select questions in case-based or context-based format? It's very easy than last year. That's interesting. Let me add that here as well. Okay, let me get back my yellow color. 10 to 15 case based. So 10 to 15 case based, or can anyone give me any approximate number? For 20 according to IGNA, Divyansh says 10. Okay, let me just put that here. 10 to 15. MCQs or case based. And most of you were saying like there are very few one-liner questions. So one-liners were huge. So how many one-liner questions approximately? But anyways, I'm just going to enter that here. One-liner MCQ, more, right? So this is the feedback which I'm getting regarding one-liner. So case-based around 15 to 20, 25. Let me just update this number. I think it's better if I put okay. $20 to $25 MCQs. Right. So I'm just putting here even more. Okay. Let's leave that benefit of doubt. 30 to 40, some of you are saying it's 50 or even 60. Fine. Now let's go to part A and part B. So which part is tough? Part A, medical, and also I heard that Rishabh was telling previously like there were some dental questions even in part A. Was that true? And how is the complexity? So obviously part A is usually challenging as it is medical related. So how was the complexity comparative? Part A is medical, part B is dental. We'll choose one color. Okay, there were some dental questions also. We'll just make a note of it. Anything else? Any further inputs? Part A is better. Part A, you have maximum of pharma, dental anatomy, and dental histology. So I'm just entering that here. Dental anatomy, dental histology, pharmacology. Okay. Yeah, we'll get back to that question, Salman. Like how many questions you guys have actually attempted? We'll get back to that. Part A easy than last year. And time consuming. Okay. Yeah, any other inputs? Yeah, part B will change the color. More clinical based. Okay, so any other inputs regarding part B? MCQs, familiar, but options were challenging. Yeah, this is something which I have been hearing. Challenging or confusing, right? Okay. So any other inputs? Okay. In part B, most questions were one-liners. Okay, Pallavi, we'll just enter that here. Many one-liner questions. So it means you would have completed that relatively fast, right? Compared to a lengthy question. Many one-liners. Yeah, options were tricky, challenging. Yes, we got that. Sujay. Hi, Rishna. Salman, you can, of course, discuss, but in the next video. So this video will just try to understand how the question paper is. I really appreciate you guys' enthusiasm. We'll create another video, a live streaming video where we can discuss these recall questions, image-based, everything. Okay, we'll do that for you guys. Okay, part B was very easy. Good to hear. Yeah, image-based questions, Ramya Kannan, image-based questions time consuming because of lengthy case history. So we'll just enter that here in part A. Ramya, are you talking about part A? Anyways, I'll just enter that here. Image-based questions, lengthy, time consuming. Okay. So anything else? Radiology questions were difficult. Gayatri, maximum questions. Yeah, we'll get back to that in the next page. Okay, let's leave it here. So regarding part A and part B. Now, the next question is, how many questions did you guys attempt on an average? Let me just put that here. Out of 240 questions, how many questions did you guys attempt? How many questions or MCQs did you attempt? Because this gives us an idea of like what could be the probable top score. I mean, the more number of questions you attempt more confidently, the higher will be the top score. So on an average, yeah, we'll get back to subject-wise division of questions as well, okay? How many questions did you attempt? Around 233, mostly more than 200 if the paper is easy. Right. I'll just give you some options here. More than 200, in the range of 175 to 200, more than 220, 150 to 175 range, less than 150. So which option would you choose? So 2 questions, Rukrisha, options were repeated. The majority of you are in the upper range, more than 220 or more than 200. Let me just highlight that here. It seems you're selecting these two. Those who are commenting here. Gayatri 164. Okay. Yeah. Rishabh 233, 216, 203, 210, 224, 214, 235, 228, 202, 228, 203. So it seems like those who are commenting, majority of you are saying like you attempted more than 200 questions. Okay, that's good to hear. And like overall, I think it's better if we move on to the next page. Okay, how many questions did you attempt out of 240, right? Yeah. 170, 172. Yeah. Salman is unable to read much because of time constraint. Also, we're getting options in between this range. 170, 172. Okay, also in this range. Less than 150, according to Salman. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's fine. Moving on. So, what was the subject-wise division of MCQ? We'll just put that question as well. Was that followed? Because on an average, you're supposed to get 15 to 16 or 14 questions per subject. So, how was it? How did you feel? How subject-wise division? Was it followed in your opinion? Rukrisha, please check out my previous video on the analysis. Anyway, we'll come up with the analysis very soon. You have to be in top 200 AIR, which means last year you should be scoring more than 600, I reckon. So 580, 600. I'm not sure. I have to check up the numbers once again. Yes, Malini. Yeah, we'll also discuss about the cutoffs. Malini, I'm glad you asked this question. Okay, so we're getting some inputs and let me enter them here. Basic questions a bit easy because most of them were one-liner. That's fine. Yeah. Shilpa says PCD, pharma, medicine, very much. What do you mean by PCD? Is it public health dentistry or is it preclinical dentistry? Can you please clarify, Shilpa? PCD, pharma, medicine. When you say medicine, is it oral medicine or is it general medicine? Please clarify that as well. MCQs from PhD, that is public health dentistry. Let me just expand that here. Public health or community, right? %20 questions from oral surgery. Okay. Anything else? We can write down oral path also here. Vivek? Yes. Okay, Salman is also giving us percentages, which is good, at least to record. 5% MCQ from pedo. Yeah, anything else? What about oral radiology questions? Some of you were telling previously, like oral radiology, the questions were challenging. So can I enter that here? More questions from PhD Rukrisha. Okay. Nodi says, no, they haven't followed any subject-wise division, which we have been hearing for thoroughly. Okay, let me just write down here. Subject-wise division not followed. Okay, noted. So anything else regarding this particular question? What about the rest of the questions? Yeah, Malini says oral path had so many questions, including OPG, than clinical image based. Let me just enter that here as well. Clinical image based question. Okay. Thank you, Malini. Pallavi, many questions from PhD and physiology. Okay. Image-based questions were less from ortho. Ortho questions were overall less. Less image-based questions from ortho. Yeah. Any other inputs? Pharmacology around 20. Let me just enter that here. Around 20 MCQs, 20% total path. Okay, noted. Gayatri, endo questions were less. Let me just enter that here. Less MCQs from endo as well. Malini, biochem anatomy was good. Pedo clinical based image tricky. Pedo IBQ image based questions tricky to Malini. Okay. Now we are parting with mostly medicine and pharma. Okay. We'll try to highlight that here. I think Malini or Shalini, someone mentioned the same. More of pharma patients. Radiology, conservative endo were many. But here we have mentioned, according to one of you, endo were less questions, but let me highlight that here. Radiology, cons, endo, many questions. Okay. So diverse opinion. Good to hear that. Radiology around 10 questions according to Yagna. 10 MCQs. Okay. Very few questions from biochemistry. Fine. 25 questions from OMR. CBCT scan was shown. Yeah, I have been hearing that. Implant, common topic in many subjects. Endo is very less. Okay, we'll stick on to that because majority of you are saying the same. Let me just erase endo here. Okay. One question is aesthetic dentistry. Although questions you have been hearing that you're getting less number of questions. 3 to 4 questions, general anatomy. Okay. Yeah, G6PD deficiency. We will discuss that in one of the live sessions. Yeah. Endo less implant questions. We'll mention that here. So implant related questions. Fine. Okay, what else? What else can I ask you guys? What else can I ask you? Need not worry about topics. We'll have another live session. We'll try to recall as many topics or questions as possible. So were the options confusing? Let me use present tense. So to majority of the MCQs, what do you think? Are the options provided to MCQs confusing? I think we got answer for this question. Let me just put that here. Yes. Some of you said it was challenging. Some of you mentioned that the options were confusing. Some of you said that the options were similar, almost, again leading to this confusion. Right. Dental materials, you had a good weightage. Okay, we'll incorporate that as well. Dental materials. Okay. So now we'll get back to the final question once again. So how much do you think you're going to score? Because this reflects the first question, how was the question paper? So those who are attending live, how much do you think you can potentially score? Based on that, we'll discuss cutoff also. So you can post some ranges. I'll give you some ranges. More than 700, 650 to 700, 600 to 650, 550 to 600, 500 to 550, 400 to 500, 300 to 400, less than 300. So those who are attending this live, how much do you think you will be potentially scoring? So based on that, I'll use a number of dashes based on your comments. So one of you is saying like you can score less than 500. Okay. Maybe in this range. Shubham, I really appreciate your enthusiasm for revealing your potential score, which most of us are not really comfortable in doing so. Yes, Saket, appreciate your enthusiasm for joining us live. Yes, Amar, we'll get back to specific topics in the next live session. So how much do you think you can score? So do post your answer. In the meantime, we'll try to address another important question, that is, what will be the fate of cutoff scores? Because compared to last year, you're saying like question paper is relatively easy or not as tough as last year's question paper. So will cutoff scores increase? What do you think in your opinion? 550 to 600. That's good to hear. Karen. EGNO also says 400 to 500. Business Mafia 400 to 500. 400 to 500 Pallavi. Okay, let's see. Since options were similar and confusing, we cannot predict the score. So maybe after paper discussion, we initiate a paper discussion. I'm sure you can have some rough idea, right? Yes, that seems fair, Ramya. I do understand. I do understand when you say you cannot predict. Let's see. So, what about cutoff? Will it increase? What do you think? So this is something which thousands of aspirants will be waiting for. So according to Salman, cutoff will decrease because the questions are on master level. If someone would be under PG, they would be able to get it. Malay says that I think NEET MDS mark distribution paper had totally changed. Yes, even though they say something in information bulletin about equal weightage, but in reality, it seems to be completely different. Yes. Okay, let's conclude with this final question. Let me repeat the question again, because initially we had taken that question, and now let's see, after going through your comments, let me ask the same question again. How is NEET MDS 2022 question paper? Now, how is the exam? Let me give you more options this time. Very difficult. You can choose any one of them. Or is it difficult? I think it's better if we take a poll as well. We'll do that a bit later. Medium range. Easy. Very easy. So let's see how many of you are going to answer this in your own style. Options are very tricky. Those who are focusing on medical subjects are disappointed. Sorry to hear that, Shubham. Yeah. Rohit says cutoff will definitely increase. Salman and others were talking about a specific guide. A specific guide cannot be a solution to your preparation, as I keep on reminding. Exam should be in such a way that you should not have questions from any guide or from any coaching. We should have new questions which should make you think, analyze, and answer accordingly. If the questions are being repeated, if the questions are from one specific guide, then what's the point in even taking up the entrance? Everyone can just mug up that guide and directly go for admissions, right? So, anyways, let's see. So Ramya says 200 plus questions would have been attempted by many people. So top score may be more than 750. Okay, let's wait and see. So difficult, medium, easy, medium to difficult, moderate. So I think it's in and around this range, right? At least majority of you feel so. Also, we'll take a poll and we'll try to get your pulse, like how you're feeling about NEET MDS 2022 question paper. Right. So before we conclude, let's have a summary of all the things. And before we go ahead, don't miss out. I have an important suggestion for you. Yeah. So first and foremost, this is what you're trying to say. Do you have highlighted your spotlight? Yes, I think we have spotlight. Good. So 2020 paper analysis we have been trying to do for the past 40 minutes. So initially you said, a majority of you are still saying that the question paper is in the range of medium to easy. And time, was it sufficient to attend 240 multiple choice questions? You're saying like the medical part, it is time taking because you're having lengthy image-based, clinical-based questions. And some of you are saying like time was sufficient. Some of you are saying like medical part, it is time consuming. In dental part, we could answer them relatively easily. And were there any repeat multiple choice questions? Yes, you're saying there were repeat image-based questions and one-liner questions. And around 30 to 40 or even 50 image-based questions, case-based questions around 20, even according to Maya. And there were many one-liner multiple choice questions, right? Now, part A, medical, you're all saying like there are some dental questions in medical part. Maybe did they try to incorporate dental aspect in a medical case-based question, or were they exclusively dental questions, like question from perio or question from ortho or endo? Please let me know. And also there were questions maximum from DA, DH, and pharmacology. Is it part B are you talking about? I think I have a doubt here. Yeah. So part A easier than last year, but time consuming, and also it's easier than part B. And image-based questions are lengthy and time consuming. This is something which you have mentioned. Yeah, part B, more of clinical-based questions, familiar multiple choice questions. Familiar questions, but you said options were challenging. Many one-liner multiple choice questions and relatively easy to answer. Okay. And how many questions did you guys attempt? You're saying like you attempted more than 200. Some of you were saying you attempted in the range of 170, around 170 or 175, and less than 150. I don't think we're getting a true picture here, because obviously those who do well, or at least those who think they're doing well, will be attending this live session, and obviously they will be performing much better comparatively, isn't it? At least according to my opinion. I might be wrong though. Okay, let's see. And next, subject-wise division. You have given so many inputs. Even though you're saying like subject-wise division is not followed because it is skewed. There are minimal questions from endo, ortho, and you're mentioning about several questions from public health dentistry. Around 3 to 4 questions from anatomy, implant-related questions. Majority of the questions from oral surgery, oral medicine, radiology, and also around 30 to 40 image-based questions. So image-based questions, time-consuming, I can understand. Radiology and conservative, also you mentioned that there are several multiple choice questions, and pedo, according to one of you, image-based questions are tricky. Yes, part A is difficult. Fine. So are the options confusing? To this you said, yes, the options are challenging, confusing, more or less similar. So you cannot exactly predict your score. That's understood. And how much do you think you'll score? Majority of you are talking about 400 to 500 range. At least those who are attending this live session will take a poll. And some of you said you'll be scoring in the range of 550 to 600. And will cutoff scores increase? We have to wait and see. If the question paper is easy, obviously the cutoff score should rise. But in fact, last before year, I remember that students were saying like question paper was very difficult, but the cutoff has increased drastically. And even the top score was around 774 or 775. That was in the year 2020. So it all varies. So let's not try answering this final question. And before we come, yeah. How is NEET MDS 2022 question paper? Again, So median. Yes, DADH comes under A only. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Egna. Yeah. Because sometimes DADH, they can be included under your clinical based or questions with clinical context. In that case, they can be included in part B also. But anyway, part A, pharma, D and DH, you had several questions in part A. That's understood. Thank you. Yes. So this is the analysis we have. So we'll try to go through your comments once again. And also from tomorrow, as I said, we're coming up with a new format of paper discussion. Also, we'll conduct a live session so that we can collect recall questions or recall keywords from your side. And if you wish to share any of the keywords, feel free to get back through mail at softwaredentist@gmail.com. And you can share your keyword. There won't be any issue at all. And finally, you have been working hard. Literally, the exam was postponed 4 to 5 times. I know it's been a huge challenge. And after today, majority of you must feel relieved. And now the next challenge is waiting for the result, which is definitely a challenge, by the way. But I suggest you to take a break completely from your preparation. But having said that, I'm not asking you to just sit like a couch potato, watch, keep on binge watching and keep on eating. No, try to have an active lifestyle. Also, in this description part of the video, I'll be sharing the list of my favorite books, general books, which you can go through. Enjoy learning process. In fact, today I was watching one of the TED Talks where one of the neuroscientists was mentioning about studying leading to generation of new neuronal cells in hippocampus, right? So we were all taught in physiology and anatomy that brain cells, neural cells, fixed mitotic cells, there won't be any division later on, but newer studies, right from 2015, they have been showing that even in adults, even in your age, new neuronal cells are being generated. So sleeping, taking proper rest, active lifestyle, reading books, sex. So there are some activities which increase generation of these new neuronal cells. The more neuronal cells you have, the more efficient your life is going to be, isn't it? And in fact, one of the studies has mentioned that there is generation of around 700 to 800 neurons per day, just 700 to 800 neurons, which will have a tremendous impact on our life, on quality of our life. So try to have an active lifestyle. Try to focus on your health as usual. And most importantly, no matter what you're doing, enjoy it rather than worrying about the result. Whether you worry or not, the result is going to come. Whether you worry or not, you have already given up the test. All you need to do is just wait for the result. So I wish you all the best and enjoy your time. And if you have any further queries or you have any recall questions or keywords, feel free to contact us through mail at softwaredentist@gmail.com 24/7. So wish you all the best. Love you all. I'll see you very soon in another video. Take care.